This month, we're going to talk about hypermobility and how we can accommodate and create some more stability in poses as opposed to going as far as we can. Because when someone's hypermobile, their tissue is more elastic. It's stretchier. And so we want to save the joints, because if someone is going into, say, triangle pose, for example, and they reach all the way to the floor and it looks just beautiful, but they're really, what's happening is instead of using your muscles, you're using your ligaments to hold the pose. And we don't want to do that, because that can cause issues, especially if we continue to do that. So what we want to do is we want to balance the posture with our muscles, and we want to go in and out of things slowly and really mindfully. So what that will do is help us to keep that joint together, because we don't want to just constantly traction a joint, right, by lengthening it out. We want to keep the joint safe and protected, just like in your shoulders, your rotator cuff. The job of those muscles is to keep the shoulder joint together. We want to do that for our whole bodies, and we can do that actively when we engage the proper muscles and when we're really mindful about how we're moving our bodies. If you are hypermobile, I am not hypermobile, but I'm going to do my best to demonstrate for you guys. So the other thing I want to point out also is that being able to hyperextend and being hypermobile are not the same thing. Like, I can hyperextend my knees if I do a forward fold and they're very, very straight and I push it. Or if you're locking your knee out and you're hyperextending it, so basically like bending it backwards, it shouldn't go that way. Hypermobility, again, is those stretchy tissues, like the ligaments will let the body create too much movement, per se, as opposed to a typical safe range of motion. And you have to figure out what is your normal, because everyone is different. So today we're going to talk about triangle pose. And so we ground down through the outside edge of the foot. We're not going to lock this knee out. We're not going to hyperextend it. For the front leg, what we're going to do, so we're lifting the kneecaps also. Instead of just pressing all the way down on the heel, we're going to use the whole foot, but we're going to go more towards the toes with the weight, and we're going to press the shin bones forward. What that's going to do is it's going to change the way the pose is. So we're going to press the shin bones forwards, and by doing that, it creates some more stability in the knee. So it almost creates just a little tiny micro bend. And so as we come in, now you can be hypermobile in one joint, you can be hypermobile in all your joints. So we're going to keep this in mind. Now, if you are struggling with this, you could also do a slight bend here. And in keeping in mind, now we're not reaching really far. Pressing the shin forward on the front leg. And if you are hypermobile and you're doing these changes and you think, whoa, my leg is really working, that's good. So we're balancing and creating more stability in the joint. That's the whole idea. So the other thing you can do is use a block. If you're really used to reaching far down, you can change it and place a block behind the leg, and really sort of take this out of the equation with the hand reaching so far, and create, what we're trying to do is to create strength and stability in the body, instead of just sort of letting the ego take over and trying to create all these really pretty shapes with our body. We want to be mindful of safety and protecting our joints so we can practice for many, many years.